your essay doesn't look like a burger, you're probably losing marks. Today I'm going to show you the exact essay structure that top students use to score high marks, using something you'll never forget, a burger. So let's talk about it. So over here we have a burger. It looks so delicious. So the analogy behind this is the fact that your top bun, okay, so this top bun should essentially be your introduction, and then your bottom bun would be your conclusion. And then we have three bodies, okay? So let's say we take this filling over here, that would be body paragraph 1. So we can just say body 1, and then we have the next filling over there, we can make it body 2, and then this section there would be body 3, okay? So this could be body, or you can refer to it as a paragraph, whichever one you prefer, okay? But that is the whole concept, okay? An introduction, your three bodies, and then your conclusion. So every good essay has balance. So too little filling means weak arguments. If it's too much filling, means your essay becomes messy and confusing. I mean, think about it. If you had 5 patties, that would be so messy to eat. So it's just going to be messy. If you don't have any filling or patties whatsoever, your burger would be boring. So that's the whole point when I say that every good essay has balance. Too little filling means weak arguments. Too much filling means your essay becomes messy and confusing. Now let's look at all these different stages one by one. So when we're talking about the top plan, we refer to it as the introduction. Let's just move that out of the way. Okay, so first one being your intro, okay, or the top bun, whichever way you'd like to look at it, okay. For this, the things that you need to include is the following. You need to include a hook, you need to include a topic, a thesis statement, and some sort of roadmap, okay, as to where this story is going, okay? So that is the formula. So an example that we can have is following. Example. So let's say the topic is, should schools make sports compulsory? Compulsory. Okay, I'm going to try and type because this is going to take too much time. So if we look at an example for the top bun, the introduction, okay, we can look at it in terms of, so that is the title, should schools make sports compulsory? And then for our introduction, we can say something like, sports play an important role in the lives of learners, okay, full stop. They improve physical health, develop team teamwork skills, and build confidence, full stop. For these reasons, schools should make sports compulsory. Okay, so that could be an example for an introduction. This is a basic example, but this already is indicating what we're going to talk about. It's indicating some sort of introduction or some sort of topic as to, why it's important. Just a hint, not, you don't have to get into detail. That's the whole point of an introduction. You don't get into that much detail. Okay, it introduces a topic, it states your argument being that it improves physical health, develop teamwork skills, and build confidence. So that's why you believe that, it needs to be compulsory. And it also shows what you'll discuss. So already, we can already tell that, oops, I made a mistake. I forgot the O. We can already tell that this is what you're going to talk about. This was what you're going to discuss throughout the whole essay. You're going to discuss the fact that schools should make sports compulsory. That's what you're going to talk about. So that is the introduction. It needs to be very, very simple. Another thing is whenever we're looking at the introduction, you should never, and when I say never, I mean please, please, please don't do this. Just connect my pen quickly. Never start with. So don't start with the following statement. This essay is about blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. Do not do that. Don't go and say, this essay is about whether or not schools should make sports compulsory. It's not going to work. It needs to hook the reader into wanting to read your essay. So please do not start your essay like this. Instead, just start it the way we started it. Sports play an important role in the lives of learners. That's already giving the reader something to wonder, like, how? How is it giving an important role for the learners? How, things like that. It's making the reader become curious about what they are about to read. And that's the whole point of essay writing. Okay, then let's look at the next part being the filling. So remember, we have our bun, we have our introduction, now we have the filling. The filling is your body 1, body 2, and body 3. That's the filling of the burger. Okay, so next is the body or the filling or the filling. Okay, so what is important here? This is where most of your marks come from. This is where you need to shine. Okay, make the most out of this. And then a key in this is each paragraph or each filling. I'm going to say each filling, one idea. One idea. So if we go back to our bun over here, we can already see that, okay, we have body 1. This compiles of some patties, some cheese, some tomato, or whatever that is, okay? That's body 1. Then body 2, it's the same thing. Body 3 is different, but just with a tomato and a bun and lettuce, for example. And in this case, what I'm just trying to drive home is the fact that each body should have one idea. So each body, one idea. That's the whole point. You can't talk about something here in paragraph 1 and then you go talk about it also in paragraph 2. Each paragraph needs to have its own idea, own idea, own idea. But obviously you need to stick to the topic. You can't go over the topic. You need to stick to the topic. Okay? And then for this, use the peel method. So peel method, P-E-E. So always make sure that you use the peel method. The peel method where P is your point, okay? So the point. State your idea, okay? So for example, sports improve physical health. Then evidence. Evidence provides support. Our next E is explain. Okay, so by explain why, just explain what it is that you're talking about, the point that you're talking about. And then link would be your L, meaning that connect back to the question. So connect back to the title. We can say it to the question or to the title, either way, question or title. Okay, so sports, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about sports, okay? How to use the peel method. We can say sports improve learners' health because regular exercises strengthens muscles and improve fitness. Okay, already we discussed the point. We said sports improve learners' health. Evidence, because regular exercise strengthens muscles. and improves fitness. That's already linking back to the title. So already we used the Peel method for that specific sentence. So this is what we need to talk about, okay? So for example, we can say sports improve physical health, like what I just said. Then for evidence, we can say regular exercise helps learners maintain a healthy weight. Explain. This allows learners to stay fit and active. And in the link, therefore, sports should be compulsory in schools. You see where I'm going with it. So that's the peel method that you need to use. So don't just tell the marker something, like just saying to them, oh, sports is good, sports is something you need to do, sports is important. That's just basic and you're not going to get marks for it. Always use this peel method. So okay, so that's that. Okay, so that is the filling. Okay, a tip that I can give to you guys is don't repeat the same idea. Okay, do not repeat same idea. So, for example, maybe students would write something like fitness, blah 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 blah, or you would say exercise, blah blah blah, or health, blah blah blah. That's already three, like it's the same thing, but just in three different paragraphs. So technically you're not going to get your marks. So instead, do something like this. The first body, you write something about health. Say, okay, exercising improves health in this way, this way, this way, this way. Okay, you become fit and whatnot, whatnot. Then the second paragraph, you talk about teamwork, for example. Sports, increases learners to participate with one another, build teamwork, whatnot, whatnot. That would be body two. Then body three, confidence. Sports will make students now want to become confident or they'll feel more confident because they're in a team or whatever it might be. But just don't repeat the same thing over and over again. That is my point. And then next thing is the bottom bun. Okay. So when we're talking about the bottom bun, we're talking about the conclusion. So conclusion or the bottom bun. So whenever we're talking about this, you need to restate your argument. Okay, so restate argument. So you need to restate, why you wrote about the fact that schools should make sports compulsory. So restate argument, summarize key points, and have a strong final statement. That is the structure that you need to use when you get to the bottom bun. So, for example, you could say something like, in conclusion, schools should make sports compulsory because they improve health, they teach teamwork, and build confidence. And then you could say something like, these benefits help learners succeed both inside and outside the classroom. Then there's a conclusion. You don't need to now start going back and saying, oh, this, and that. So do not introduce new ideas. No new ideas. This is very important. Don't now start trying to talk about something else and introducing a new idea. No, this is conclusion. We're closing. We're closing down. So now you don't have to be talking about another idea. That is not going to work. So new ideas, you leave them to the body, not in the conclusion. Okay. So always use strong vocabulary as well. So instead of using, let me write this down. Use strong vocab. So instead of good, use something like beneficial. Beneficial. So that's what I mean. So the more you read, the more you learn more about synonyms and things like that, that's where you need to now start using it. Okay, instead of using the word good, use something like beneficial. And then very sentence structure. So use a mix of short sentences. Don't start now writing one long sentence all the time. Short sentences, you know, longer descriptive sentences. Use questions as well. Questions to make the reader wonder, like, oh, just rhetorical questions. Say, have you experienced not being able to run around, or I haven't had, good exercise or whatever in a long time, question mark. Then the reader stops and start to think like, oh, rhetorical questions. So please always do that. And then basically, that is all the hints that I wanted to give you guys. Please leave a comment below. Just leave a comment and say burger, and then I'll send you a template on how you can structure your essays for exams. Okay, I hope this video made sense. And please remember the burger. Very, very, oops, where's the burger now? Very important. Remember the burger. Introduction, body 1, body 2, body 3, your conclusion, and always make sure that you don't start your sentence or your essay with "this essay is about." So like I said, remember every great essay follows the burger method. The introduction is the top bun, the body paragraphs are the fillings, and the conclusion is the bottom bun. If you master the structure and apply the tips I've shared today, you'll instantly start writing stronger essays and earning higher marks. Like I mentioned, if you'd like a free essay template that works for almost every essay topic, comment burger in the comment section and I'll send it through to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.